it's Gina Tell. Welcome back to my channel. I have a free project for you. I needed a nice big quilt to give as a gift, and I needed something fast and in a hurry. So I created this block pattern. It's very simple, and I'm going to show you in this tutorial how to make it. Okay, so this is going to be really very simple. It's a block pattern that I just kind of came up with because I wanted to make something simple and black and like a, light and a dark. So this is what the block looks like, and it's great to use kind of like a two-color quilt. If you wanted to do any two colors, if you wanted to do pink and red, or like I did a dark and a low volume, or really anything. You could do scrappy. It would be really cute with just about anything, but I'm going to show you these. And so this is what we're going to do to get started. So what you're going to need is you're going to need 10-inch squares and 5-inch squares. So you could purchase pre-cuts if you wanted to do a layer cake as well as a charm pack. Those would be great if you wanted to find, two from a collection that you like. Or you can cut from your scraps, 10-inch and 5-inch. So it's super simple. And so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do a dark and a light. So that's what we have here. I'm just using a gray for this, for right now, just to show you. So it doesn't really have a front or a back. However, if you do have two that have fronts and backs, you want to make sure that they're good side to good side. And I have already drawn a line from one corner to the other corner. So I have a line from here to here. I've just used a friction pen. It will go away when you iron it. You can also use the water, the ones that go away when you get them wet, or they kind of just dissolve with the air, or you can use just a regular old pencil. I did that for a long time. Or even a pen, honestly. It would be okay. I have done it before and nobody arrested me. So what we're going to do is we are going to sew 1/4 of an inch away from this line on this side and 1/4 inch away on that side. So I'm going to put the ruler over here and show you. Actually, I'm going to do this one. I think it might be easier to see. So 1/4 of an inch away is going to be on this side of the line, and then another one over here on this side of the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut where the line is at the end, and then we're going to end up with two pieces. So you want your seam to go on this side and the other side. So I'm going to show you that, and then we're going to press it, and I'm going to show you what happens next. So I'm just lining my foot up with the side of the line. Oh, you know what? I have my stitch length a little high. So I moved my stitch length down to about a 1.8. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. There's the line in the center, and then you're going to stitch on one side of the line and the other side of the line. So that's what we're going to do, and then we are going to cut it in half. Okay, so we're just going to cut right on the red line. And now you have two pieces. So the two pieces are going to be opened, and then you're going to press it towards the dark side. And that means when you're going to press the flap over towards the darker fabric. And the reason why you do that is because if it's a white fabric and you pressed it this way, you'd be able to see the darker underneath. So that's why, if I can, I usually press it to the darker side. And so I have my iron over here. I have a TV tray on either side of my sewing table. When I do piecing I do one on one side for cutting and the other side for ironing. That way I don't have to get up as much. Okay, so now these are pressed. And then what we're gonna do is they're gonna take it, so the dark, so there's a dark on one side and a light, and a dark on, so you're getting two pieces. And so on this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the lighter fabric over here, and then on this one, we're gonna put the darker fabric on this side. So there's two lines on here, and you might be wondering why, and I'm going to show you. This is a little trick that I do pretty much any time that I do where you're sewing a piece on top of a piece and then you're going to throw away the extra part. I always do this, and this is why. So I mark a line from one corner to the other corner, and then I mark a line over on the other side, and that line is going to be about 1/2 inch. It can be slightly less, but you want to have the line from the center and then another one that's 1/2 inch away. All right, so check it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew, you're going to line it up so that your corners meet, and they don't have to be exactly perfect, but that's what you're going to do. And then we are going to stitch on the line. So before we stitched on either side of the line, now we're stitching on the line. Okay, so we've stitched right on the line on this first, the big line from corner to corner. Now we're going to stitch on this line. And you do not have to do this, but it is it's helpful if you don't want to waste a bunch of fabric. So, and time. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch 1/4 inch, so which is right down the center of those two red lines. And then you're going to get a 1/2 square triangle. And then you can either leave, this 1/2 square triangle is about 4 inches. So you can either leave it a 4 inch or you could cut it down to any size that you need. So when I made this quilt, I ended up with all these 1/2 square triangles. So there's a ton of them. I've got all these. And so then you have 1/2 square triangles set up where you could make an additional, you could do piece backing, you could do pillow, you could do a bag, you can save it and stick it in a, you know, in a tub and do it some other day, add it, use it for something else. There's endless possibilities. But when I do the corner pieces like this, I always make the extra part, even if it only makes a 1 inch 1/2 square triangle, and then you can just save them in a bin for 1/2 square triangles. So that's what you do. That's just an extra part. So for this block, what we're doing is, so then we have the dark and the light, and then we have another light, and then on this end, I think in all my gabbing, I got my piece. There it is. All right. And so now what we're gonna do is the dark side. The good side is facing down, facing the other good side. And then we're gonna just line it up on the corner. And then we're gonna sew right down both lines. And it doesn't matter which one you do first, really. So now we have this line, and now we're gonna stitch down the other line. Okay. And I'm using this little ruler just because it's easier for the video. Usually I turn around, but then I gotta move the camera, so. Oops. Wow. Okay. So now you have your extra piece, and that goes in your extra piece pile. And then now we have this one. So we're basically making this quilt block over and over and over again with whatever fabrics you want. So now we're going to take this piece and we're going to do Actually, let's do another one. There's a darker one. And then this is a lighter. So this is the good side. And so I didn't draw any lines on this one. My rule of thumb is usually I can eyeball a 2.5 or smaller with my seam tape. But if it's more than 2.5 or 3, I usually go ahead and draw the line. And so you're just drawing a line. This is, like I said, a friction pen, so it'll go away when you press it. Oh, and then if you just do the 1/2 inch, you can make the other line. And then line it up. Okay, so you have your pieces, and then you have your blocks. And so I would go ahead and press them, and then what you can do then is you can lay them out in a variety of ways. You can lay them out where they're all making strips like this. You can lay them out where you have your lights, your darks, or you can just lay them out where they're gonna make, you can just kind of play with it. Once you get a bunch of them, you can lay them out on your floor or your design table or your design wall and decide how you like it. But there's a lot of different ways you can turn it to make fun patterns. So the way that I did in the quilt that I showed is just by doing the light ones and then the dark, and so lining them up like that. And then that'll make the pattern look just like the quilt that I just finished. So I hope that you have enjoyed this fun little tutorial, and I would love to see what you make. I think it's a super, super great pattern to use pre-cuts or your stash and just have some fun with it. So I'd love to see, please tag me, and I would love for you to subscribe and come back and hang out with me again. Thanks a bunch. Have a great day.